As you can see, the entire mezzanine is pretty much records with other associated materials. I've got a lot of autographed material and what have you that's mine personally. But roughly the entire mezzanine is full of records. It's about 800 square foot, which is why we had to reinforce um, everything up there because it's a lot of weight. Like I say, there's about 20,000 records, which equates to ballparking 20,000 pounds. Um, it goes from there all the way up to here. All right, all the records are in a sense of order. We start right here. This is some a little different alt country, Doc Merle Watson, Goose Creek, Charlie McCoy, harmonica, a little Dwight Yoakam, some harder stuff to find like Randy Travis. This little rack is probably my smallest rack. This rack probably has 75 records here, which is, in my terminology, roughly one crate. A crate holds about 75 records. I ran through and did the numbers. Retail pricing on this little batch of records is about $1,200. And yes, I do sell them. I do sell Randy Travis for $26. Alabama only has a couple of records that sell for more than $5, but I've got them up there, and I do sell that Mountain Music for $14. It's a cakewalk. I sell them all the time. We've got a little peripheral materials, 8 tracks, big $6. I mainly sell 8 tracks to Car Guys. Car Guys got a 66, loaded from the factory Chevelle. It had an 8 track. So Car Guys buy 8 tracks. Biggest sale I ever made was to Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. He came in and got 2 big stacks of that darned old hippie music. We also went ahead and we've got a little equipment up here. The creepy dolls are up here just because it does creep some people out. We have some musical instruments, old dulcimer, handmade thing, classical, and this is jazz cassettes. Then you segue right around, then all of a sudden you've got crates and crates of backstock. This is an entire crate of Johnny Cash backstock. Got, like I say, literally crates of backstock that it takes forever for me to work through. This particular rack is, Dolly Parton, Patsy Cline. This is all Johnny Cash. Roseanne sitting on Johnny's shoulders. Hank Williams Jr., Sr., David Allan Coe. Can't find enough David Allan Coe. Lost Gonzo, Beat Farmers, Willie Whalen, Ozark Mountain Daredevils. All of this stuff sells very well. Hank Sr., Hank Jr., Willie Whalen, Johnny Cash, Dolly. Can't hardly get enough Dolly. Dolly is hard to find in really good shape. Resorted dragging out Dolly and Porter together. Of course, most Dolly and Porter records have at least one Dolly solo. Threw the Judd's back in there. Got a little Kitty Wells, little Jessie Coulter, Patsy Cline, all Wanda Jackson. Her early stuff was pretty rocking. Then you segue from there on into a bunch of 45s. These picture sleeves, I've actually got another crate, actually a couple of crates of picture sleeves. I sell these for $3 and I sell them all day long. I do have some cleaned, play graded, older, a little more rare stuff, and again, a few more instruments. Most of the random 45s I just sell for $1 if I'm lucky. 45s don't do much. From there we go to the jazz, Herbie Hancock, Pat Metheny, Ramsey Lewis, Sun Goddess. We also have techno house section. Then we also start breaking into some more bluegrass. Michael Nesmith, Grisman Quartet. That's all Vassar Clements right there. He's got a lot of fans. We do well with that. Oddly enough, Sade is down here because, in a way, it is a smooth jazz profile. You know, you drop down in here. These are all cleaned, play graded, and guaranteed. I do have a $5 crate. $5 jazz. I've got $5 bluegrass, common stuff that will never be more than $5 due to condition and or how many copies they made. Amazingly enough, even bluegrass, sometimes there's just too many copies. We also sell 78s. Those are your pick. Got crate after crate after crate of 78s, and people buy them, but they're only $3, so it's not a real moneymaker for me. What I also sell in that same price range is the cassettes, the better cassettes. Jeff Beck, Moody Blues, Bodines, Roxettes, Guess Who, Shotgun Cream. The better cassettes I sell very well at $3.50 each. You come around here, and again, I've got tons of country cassettes. I do sell those at $3.50. A little peripheral material, Bud and Travis. That's a great album. Got to get around to it because I clean, play grade, so I can guarantee. Oddly enough, that chair full of Christmas records, come October, it turns it into a gold mine. Most of those are $5 records, but there are the unusual, better Christmas records that are cleaned, play graded, and guaranteed. Somebody will come up and go, "Oh my God, Romper Room. I was on Romper Room in 1966." And that person will actually give me $32 for that Christmas record. It's amazing what sells. Yesterday I sold a Kojak record, and I sold a double Shirley Temple Greatest Hits album. It's like I say, it's amazing what does and will sell. As you come around the corner, I've got a little Elvis thing going on. His 45s, they're $1. His common and or rough shape records, $5. Common soundtracks, $5. More common soundtracks. Kids records actually on that crate. All this is common stuff that I sell for $5. Up on the top, however, it's a different story. This is an entire rack full of the Jacksons, including like 10 copies of Thriller, which is one of the top 50 albums of all time. There's some other stuff, Mahalia Jackson, Milli Vanilli, how about that? The Ink Spots, one of their better records. You know, you've got a whole crate of Lionel Richie, the Commodores. You've got an entire shelf of hip hop and pop rock stuff, junk. $5. We've got old R&B stuff, Teddy Pendergrass, you know, Lou Rawls, the Sister Sledge, $5, you pick. Got stack of Donna Summers, $5. No one cares. And again, over here you've got singles. Norman Blake is actually sitting here to be cleaned and play graded. These are all singles. They're $10 each. There's actually some good music in there. There's some junk, there's some rap, there's some hip hop. You segue on around, and we've got more of the classic kind of Motown sound stuff. Got a crate and a half of the Supremes and Diana Ross. Pressed so many copies, they're $5. Some great music there, doesn't matter. Dionne Warwick made some great records. Fifth Dimension, great records. No one cares anymore. $5. Now there is original early Aretha and Roberta Flack. Early Aretha draws money. Roberta Flack, all her early stuff draws money. I also have an entire $5 section of country, which is various artists. This entire rack is $5 country. It might be a rough Willie Nelson, it might be a Mel Tillis, it might be an entire stack of George Jones, or an entire stack of who we got here? Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty, the Statler brothers. $5, your choice. Take them all. You go from there to even more $5 records, but this is $5 pop and rock, and it's $5. This is a great record. It's in rough shape. It's $5. I don't like this record. It's $5. I'm not going to clean it and play grade it. I am not listening to that. It's $5. Phoebe Snow had a couple of great songs, but not that popular. No one cares. $5. Now, Chicago is a mix. I've got a lot of cleaned, play graded Chicago, half a crate full, but then I've also got a bunch of rough condition Chicago for $5. Miscellaneous pop and rock. Rod Stewart, not the best condition, $5. You segue around and we start filtering in CDs, which I also have. CDs are categorized, classical soundtracks, mixtape, blues rock, and then oddball stuff. Below that, all those are $5 records, and it's everything from Chuck Mangione, George Benson. Love George Benson. Caught George in Dallas back in the day. No one really cares that much anymore. I've got so many George Jones records, they're $5, just like Three Dog Night. I've seen Three Dog Night 3 or 4 times. They're a fantastic band, love them to death. They press so many copies of so many of their records that they will never be rare or precious, and most people don't really care that much anymore. There's some $5 records blended in on this shelf, like old Moody Blues in rough shape, Steppenwolf, Grand Funk in rough shape. Most Grand Funk records are in rough shape. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, their first 3 albums, all 3 fantastic. They pressed like 1.5 million copies of everything they did originally. Then you do segue into cleaned, play graded, bagged, and tagged. Janis Joplin, Jeff Beck, Canned Heat, Jim Croce, who is taken off. Everyone loves Croce now. Foghat, James Gang, with Joe Walsh's solo stuff. You get over here, Kenny Loggins. I saw Loggins and Messina back in the day. They were fantastic. No one cares anymore. They're $5. Sean Phillips, amazing artist. No one cares. Billy Joel, everybody's buying Billy Joel. Jimmy Buffett does great. Love Jimmy Buffett. This is also the area where I've got Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, a lot of the smooth jazz female vocalists. Sammy Davis even sells. Monkees records, unless they're pristine, $5. Harry Chapin, unless it's like his first record, $5. Gordon Lightfoot. I love Gordon Lightfoot. Such a melodic, wonderful voice. $5. Barry Manilow. Don't like Barry Manilow. We're not cleaning and playing any Barry Manilow. $5. Neil Diamond. Love Neil Diamond. Talented man. So many copies available everywhere. $5. Mixed records. Every radio station in the nation decided they had to make their own personal mixed record. $5. Most comedy records, $5. You know, here you get into a little more interesting disco, Culture Club, Village People. They're iconic. I didn't say there was good music. I said they're iconic. Now, the Bee Gees disco and ABBA, they do very well. I actually have Bee Gees in 2 places. Early Bee Gees sells excellent. I cannot keep early Bee Gees in stock. And again, some 45s scattered around. You turn the corner and all of a sudden you're into the meat of the matter. You Supertramp, The Police, Yes, Moody Blues, Mott the Hoople, Genesis, Bob Seger, Boston. Can't keep Boston's first album in stock. Well, actually, I do keep it in stock, but Van Halen, hard to keep Van Halen in stock. You know, all the classics are flying out the door. Judas Priest, I've got another crate of Judas Priest I need to go through, get some more out. Aerosmith, Blue Oyster Cult, they do great. Santana, somebody that was 17 years old bought a Santana album and was telling me all about what a great record it was, which was hilarious because I've been enjoying that particular record for, I don't know, 50 years. Soundtracks, oddly enough, I do well with soundtracks. I have several locations for cleaned and play-graded soundtracks. They do well. It might be Easy Rider, it might be Grease, it might be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The miscellaneous alphabetical are 80s. We segue into the 80s over here. You know, Palmer, the Eurythmics, Dire Straits, Fix, Psychedelic Furs, which I really like, Divinyls, Smithereens. You know, Patti Smith, she's excellent. And then 80s ladies. Down there is a crate of Fleetwood Mac. Pretty much full. Can't hardly keep Fleetwood Mac in stock. People come in, love the early blues stuff. Other people just want a copy of Rumors. The Knack Babies, Hooters, you know, Cheap Trick. You know, here's more soundtracks. There's REO. REO actually spans so many decades, it's ridiculous. I first saw them in '72 at the St. Mary's High School homecoming dance. Last time I saw them was a couple years ago at the DuQuoin State Fair. They still tear it up. You know, you go over here, we've got alphabetical hair bands. That's probably 3 crates full. You know, everything from Meatloaf to Ambrosia to Sweet to Slade. Just alphabetical 80s hair bands. More soundtracks. Here we're getting into some more stuff I need to clean and play grade. This is what it says. This is newer stuff. And for me, newer means like Tool, Ecstasy, Murmur, Ed Sheeran, a little bit of stuff that's pretty good. A lot of it's only limited in its appeal, so I only have limited copies. But then you start getting into the classics. Half a crate of Floyd, most of a crate of The Who, almost a full crate of Zeppelin, Rush. The bottom is Clapton. That's getting a little low on Jimi Hendrix. I need to get more Hendrix out. Jackson Browne, John Cougar, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Richie Havens, John Mayall. That's kind of almost like a blues rock rack, except that it has some other stuff. Got a few Def Leppards, a little Bon Jovi, Fastway, there's a couple of Ramones, some U2. Same thing over here. It's got some newer stuff. Mike Ferris, Sarah Bareilles, I don't know. Oh, Adele, Tracy Chapman. Those are crazy hard to find. They didn't press that many on vinyl. Her first album is a classic. It should be top 100 for anybody. Blackberry Smoke, Long Riders. There's all sorts of people in here. Full thing of Joe Cocker. This is starting into my overstock. That's Triumph, Journey, Aerosmith. This is Kinks, Allman Brothers. This is, like I say, overstock that I've not had the opportunity to clean and play grade. And that's what I'm in the middle of here, is cleaning and play grading a big batch of Robin Trower, who's actually an amazing musician and gets no credit for his vocals, even though they're great. Got a little bit of metal thrown around, little Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Creed, Rob Zombie, just Secure Dog, which I think is excellent. You get over here, I got more 80s, got a crate full of punk rock, got a crate of weird stuff, Johnny Carson comedy record, French jazz with accordion and vibraphone. Somewhere in here there is a Jewish punk band. Walter Carlos switch on Bach, which is good. There's some monks in here singing. There's Nana Mouskouri, who's the Greek big Teen Idol guy. It's all sorts of weird stuff. Barefoot Jerry. And The Crazy World of Arthur Brown is in there, which I consider weird, but it's kind of classic. Punk rock, Doors, T-Rex, Kinks, Iggy, and other weirdness, which means you've got the Sparks in here, the Deviants, Stories, not quite punk, Charlie Sexton, not quite punk, but Bowie-esque, Root Boy Slim. That is one strange dude. And of course, Iggy, got a big pile of Bowie there, a bunch of Lou Reed, Creedence, Skynyrd. I'm actually a little low on Skynyrd. Most of this is other stuff. Like I say, I'm a little low on Skynyrd right now. Rossington Collins, Van Zandt Band, mixed in with Skynyrd, Johnny Van Zandt, Rare Earth, don't know why, just got moved there. This is mainly 70s rock, the Grateful Dead, Hawkwind, Zombies, the original Zombies with Rod Argent, Manfred Mann, Long John Baldry. Got some weird stuff that's high dollar. Most of the stuff behind the counter is my personal collection. I would certainly sell that, but I'm not going to sell it for just a few dollars. A bunch of rarities back there, a bunch of banana labels, Beatles yesterday and today, with the baby cover, like I say, Dead, Hawkwind, more top stock. This entire crate is Uriah Heep. This entire crate is Wings. Again, Wings and or solo Lennon stuff. You get down to the bottom, that entire crate is Frank Sinatra. All of this is top stock. Yes, I have back stock for 10 years after. I have back stock for everybody, Buffalo Springfield, Free, Bad Company. That's a rack of Fleetwood Mac right there. That, what do we got here? Aerosmith, backstock on everything, just waiting to get to. This is kind of a singer-songwriter rack. Carole King, Tapestry is one of the main seller for her. Her other albums people will occasionally pick up. Everybody Wants Tapestry. Chris Christopherson, Jesus Was a Capricorn. That does actually sell. You know, Jerry Rafferty does well. Emmett Rhodes. If I play it for somebody, they buy it. Flying Burrito Brothers, J.J. Cale. Love J.J. Cale. Warren Zevon. And this is also Albert Hammond and Jesse Winchester and Randy Newman. That's all Donovan. That's all Cat Stevens. Simon and Garfunkel, Art Garfunkel, Paul Simon. Got a little Leonard Cohen going on with some Nielsen. All I consider singer-songwriters. You know, Steve Goodman. You segue over here, and again, more backstock lined up. Johnny Winter, Edgar Winter, Captain Hook, Dr. Hook, you know, 10cc. But I do have categories that are, you know, cleaned, play graded. This is more or less pop music. The Marcells at 61. The Osmonds from the 60s. 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Jump over here and you've got some folk rock, The Collage, Stormbringer, Luke Christie actually was folk when he first kicked off. Michael Stanley, Brewer and Shipley, Peter, Paul and Mary. You jump over here, you got Dave Mason from Traffic, which there's a batch of Joe South. That segues into Traffic. Jack Bruce, Love, De Capo, the Africa album, a couple of copies of that. King Crimson, Cold Blood. You know, you jump over here and all of a sudden you're into some hippie folk rock. Terry Reid, who's amazing. Illinois Speed Trust. Fever Tree, Hot Tuna, Dalton DeBari. I'm sitting here looking at an entire crate of Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. This is mixed 60s R&B, Jackie Wilson. More hippie folk, There's a little Vanilla Fudge going on. That's all hippie folk, cleaned and play graded. Same thing here, Electric Flag, Rhino. This is top stock hair bands. That's top stock on actually the kids' records. Those are usually in mint condition, so I can pull them out when I need them. And then you jump over here, this entire cabinet is full. This drawer is all Foghat. This drawer is all Jerry Lee Lewis. You jump over here and you got Peter Frampton and Foghat. This rack is actually older rock and roll, 50 Buddy Holly, original Lloyd Arnold, the Embers, Frankie Virtue, the Kingsmen, Louie, that's a classic, Frank Virtue and the Virtues, Jerry Lee Roy. Then you start getting into some 60s classic hip groove stuff, King Curtis, Booker T, MFSB, but then you do jump on over from Chuck Berry and Little Richard up to the Chambers Brothers, Coco Taylor, Bessie, we're starting to get into some blues here, which is on the other side of the rack. We have blues galore, everything from B.B. King to Albert King. I actually like this album. Nobody's heard of it. It's crazy good. I got a little bit of some funk over here. Brides of Funkenstein, Ohio Players classic album cover. Not an expensive album, but the cover sells it. A little James Brown, reggae, ska, more backstock on everything. Box of Santana, box of Dylan, box of Moody Blues. Well, there's comedy down there. Those are compilations that are actually amazing. There's an entire crate of Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Wings, Lennon, a lot of Lennon. A little low on Beatles. I need to drag some more Beatles out. I got 3 crates of Beatles that I need to drag out and clean and play grade. This is Dylan. Traveling Wilburys, of course, included Dylan. Times Era Changing, and of course we got the band right up there backing up Dylan. Iron Butterfly, Jefferson Airplane, Steppenwolf, John Kay. You get down on the bottom, you got Robin Trower, Pat Travers, Rick Derringer, Ted Nugent, Beach Boys. You've got Melanie, old hippie folk singer, Joni Mitchell. She had like 6 albums that should be in everybody's top 100. Little Buffy St. Marie segregated out there. This is all Stones Woodstock copies. These are associated. Jamming with the Edwards, actually excellent. Most people had never heard of this. This is when Keith Richards was not available to make music, so the kind of like the Rolling Stones is a jam band. It's actually a really good album. But there's a lot of that sort of stuff. A little Marianne Faithfull thrown in there, a little Mick Jagger solo stuff. Here's a crate of Prince. Underneath Prince is actually back stock for Steve Miller and Dave Mason. A whole crate. That's some more hippie folk stuff. There's a little Dr. John going on. More CDs. I've got cleaned and play graded Elvis that I need to expand because I've actually got 4 more crates of Elvis over here. This is some 60s Grand Funk, half a crate of Bob Seger. All that is Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in their different permeations and variations. 60s British Invasion. John Denver got so popular, we gave him his own little rack there. This is weird German stuff. La Dolce Vita. They did Kahn, actually. Great music, Kahn. Tangerine Dream. There's a bunch of good music that came out of Germany. And then you have Marlene Dietrich, who I think is fantastic. The Germans all love her. This is more hippie folk stuff. Toad, Tucky Buzzard, Ides of March. That's a fantastic. Shel Silverstein, Freaking at the Freakers Ball. So there's a broad selection there. Again, CDs, back stock. Most of this is kind of a keeper stuff. Elvis's first records on Sun. Although these up here, Guns N' Roses first press, Deltron 3000, those records are for sale. But you don't get Elvis's first record, from me at least. I'll keep my Elvis Sun collection. having said that, this crate, this entire trunk is completely stuffed full of Rolling Stones records. It is stacked neatly, lined up, and in chronological order, and it got so full I just started laying them on top. The whole thing is just stuffed full of the Stones. Better 45s. I'll probably keep most of the Apple stuff. That's just Badfinger. There's a ton of Beatles in here. I'll keep probably all that. This is just something fun I do. Tiffany, her album and her Playboy appearance. Vanity, her album, her Playboy appearance. Belinda Carlisle, her album, her Playboy appearance. Samantha Fox, Nancy Sinatra. That is Nancy's album from 1966, and that is Nancy's appearance in Playboy 30 years later. She waited until after her dad passed away, said she always wanted to do that, but of course her dad would have killed everybody. That's pretty much it. Huge amount of records, about 20,000. We counted that black and white rack that had the hippie folk, and it roughly had 3,000 records on just that one rack. Like I say, I tend to look at things in terms of a crate. A crate usually has 75 records. And if you go start counting crates in here, there's about 20,000 records up here. It's amazing. Thanks for watching. That's it.